City Council to do more to secure the future of the Sky Blues. It comes as fans have started an online petition calling for the rent paid by the club to be reduced following relegation to League One. The council has a 50% stake in the Ricoh Arena. Now, the West Midlands Euro MP Nikki Sinclaire has joined the fans in calling for everyone with an interest in the club to work together.
I think it plays a part, but obviously the council have a balancing act, and I certainly want the council to play the part, and hopefully there may be an area where they can drop the rent. I mean, I'm minded that Stoke City Council writ off £1.5 million debt to help Port Vale survive. So the council has certainly a part to play in this.
I'll hear more from Nikki Sinclaire after 8 o'clock this morning.
Coventry and Warwickshire.
The Sky Blues are in League One. It is now confirmed. We knew it anyway, but it's confirmed now as the final whistle goes. A few boos around the ground. Mainly it's sort of stunned silence.
That was it when it was all over, wasn't it, this season? After a dismal end to the Sky Blues season, the debate's now focusing on the financial future of the club that's facing life in League One. Over the last 24 hours, a Facebook campaign has been launched calling for the Sky Blues to get a rent reduction at the Ricoh Arena. And a West Midlands MEP, Nikki Sinclaire, says the idea needs looking at. The club, which doesn't own its own ground, of course, is charged £1.2 million a year to play there, and it's defaulted on a recent payment. In a newspaper interview today, the woman in charge at CCFC, the Sky Blues investors' owners, say it's one of the highest rents in the country. Joyce Sapala says it's unsustainable for a club which has just been relegated. Let's talk to Nikki Sinclaire, local Euro MP this morning. Nikki, morning, thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
What do you think should happen then? I mean, a rent reduction, first of all.
I think that's a possibility that needs to be looked at. I think first of all, what the fans want to know is they want to see some transparency. They want to see exactly what the figures are. Of course, the accounts haven't been posted yet for 2011, and there's a breach of rules in that. The owners need to come clean, and the owners need to sit down and speak with the council and speak with fans. You know, it's been an unfortunate season. We're facing League One. And to move forward, I think everyone needs to stick together. We've seen this weekend Southampton, who are in very similar problems to Coventry, get promoted to the Premiership, and they were bottom of League One with points deductions, etc., etc. So it can be done. But the only way that can be done is if the council, the owners and the fans sit down together and work forwards. And at the moment, and for the last couple of years, that simply hasn't been happening.
How do you make that happen? Because, I mean, you know, you're adding your voice to, I mean, I can't count now the number of people who said exactly what you've said. And as you pointed out, it's a legal requirement that they file accounts with Companies House. They've failed to do that. They can't even talk to Companies House and tell them what they've done financially. So they've got no chance of coming to the table and talking to people, have they?
Well, let's see if we can shame them into it. You know, I've sent them letters yesterday, as I have to the council, to ask them, look, we have to do something. My Twitter and my email has been red hot in the last couple of days of people contacting me and saying, look, anything you can do, please do it, and that's what I'm trying to do. You know, football is a bedrock of our communities, and Coventry needs a successful football club, and I will be saying that to the council. You know, the council needs to play their part, but you know, it's not as simple. Coventry City is losing £500,000 a month, and the rent is £100,000 a month. So that's not the only problem. There's still a 400 deficit, and part of the problem is the wages.
Yeah, but I mean, some people would say, "Welcome to the wonderful world of football." I mean, you ask Elton John about going and buying a club on a vanity whim or to try and make any money. Football is renowned. There's only a few clubs, as we look at some of the clubs that have gone to the wall recently. There's only a few clubs that can actually make money out of it, Nikki. And I think part of the problem is that as an investment company, they're barking up the wrong tree, aren't they? Surely.
Exactly, and you know, we don't need faceless investors. We need real football fans. And yes, you're never going to make money out of football. It's a love, it's a passion, and that's what the people we need involved. And they are fans. But they're running it on a business. But even their business model isn't. They were overpaying wages. They were spending over their turnover, 112%, 118%, 111% on the club's turnover on wages alone. So even as an investment, as a business model, what these people are supposed to be expert in, they can't even run it as a business model.
Let me represent then the other people in Coventry who have no interest in football and say, hang on a second, why should the council take less money from a club who have put their season tickets up in line with inflation? So in terms of gate receipts, I mean, they're going to get exactly the same. Why are we making a special case that if they're a business at the end of the day, if I'm a council taxpayer in Coventry and I'm seeing services gone, and you're actually going to subsidise the football club so that people who run it can turn up every other Saturday in the city and put on some entertainment. It's a bit much to ask, isn't it?
Well, the council agreed, obviously, some years ago that to have a partnership with Coventry City, and that's why they put up the money or half the money for the Rico arena. Yes, I mean it's a balancing act for the council. At times of cutbacks to public services, etc., they have to be sensible with what they do with taxpayers' money. But a successful football club, as Coventry has been in the past, they were in the top division for 30 odd years. That is an asset to a city, and it can bring in investment. With visiting fans, hotels, restaurants, etc., etc.
Are you going to do what many people have tried to do then, and talk to CISU? Are you going to try and contact them?
I wrote to them yesterday. I wrote to Mr. Fisher, and I will be pushing this. And look, you can shame these people. There has been clubs. I think Southampton's a great model.
I don't think you can, but I admire your tenacity. But I think there'll be fans listening this morning saying, "I tell you what, you can't do. You can't shame them," because I think people have tried that, and certainly all this season.
Yeah, well, let's give it a try. I mean, they may just think this isn't worth the hassle, and they may just kind of give up, and hopefully we can bring in some investors who are interested in the benefit of Coventry City Football Club.
Nikki, we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining us this morning, local MEP.